All those in favour of the motion say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. Are there any abstentions? I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you.
The second motion concerns what we're going to do about it. So the motion which I'll move is that this meeting votes to strike from 2 a.m. Tuesday, 23rd of October 2018. The strike will end at each company when the members have voted to accept their employer's offer for a collective agreement. During any strike from 23rd October, the union is to attempt to secure buses to take picketers to picket lines and then provide an alternative bus service in areas affected by the strike for a gold coin donation. During any strike, the union will picket meetings of the Wellington Regional Council, as the Regional Council bears primary responsibility for imposing wages and condition cuts on drivers in the industry. And this is the addition: the members of the Tramways Union have no confidence in the Greater Wellington Regional Council's ability to operate a public transport network, and call on the Minister for Local Government to urgently dismiss the councillors and appoint an independent commissioner to lead effective public transport reforms across the region.
Seconder for the motion, please. Brett Pearson.
I now just wish to speak to the motion. So the intention is, as was discussed in December, that we're not going to have a 24-hour stoppage here, a 24-hour stoppage there, because when you stop work and then go back to work, it simply gives the employer encouragement and confidence to keep on going. If we're going to stop, let's do a decent job of it and hammer them. That's what this motion is about. So what we intend to do is, if this motion is carried, that all work will cease on the 23rd of October. For those of you that don't know, the 23rd of October is the day after the 22nd, which is Labour Day. So we thought we should get a statutory holiday in before you go out. Labour Day was first celebrated in Wellington in 1890. And it was celebrated to celebrate the 8-hour day. The fact that working people had control over their working lives. That's why it was celebrated. Nearly 150 years later, we have no control over our working life. In 1990, the 8-hour day in New Zealand law was abolished. And now we have employers who want a 14-hour day. Who work when we say you work, stop work when we tell you to stop work, you do as we say and you suck it up and love it. That's what this country is, and that's what we need to oppose. So that's what this motion is saying, is that we are going to establish hours of work in this industry that work for the drivers in the industry. Not that work to cut the workforce to the bone and to have us all as slaves in our own country. The second aspect of the motion is that we're going to operate a picket line. We don't care if people cross the picket line and go into work. The objective of the picket line will be to stop any buses going out. If we're weak at a particular depot, our intention is to call on Unions Wellington to get volunteers, to get as many people as possible to the picket line to make it as difficult as possible. I've had a bit of experience with picket lines. I don't like people getting arrested at picket lines, and they will call the police. So if the police come, they might get some buses out, but it's a long battle. But we need to get picketers to the picket line, so we'll be trying to get some of those many spare buses that are around, because the companies that all lost work have got all their buses parked up with no work to do. So we're going to try and get our hands on those buses by agreement with any company that has buses to spare and that isn't involved. And we're going to use those buses to get picketers to the picket line and then to run a gold coin donation bus service. So that if they do manage to get buses out, they're going to have to beat us to picking up the passengers. minimal cost of running a bus service. I'm afraid to tell you, you'll be on no pay when you're doing the driving. The gold coins will go into the strike fund. And the strike fund will meet people's needs for the duration of the strike. But if you're out for a week, then the panic will set in. That's why we have a motion which is to take the ultimate step and to take it for an indefinite duration. What happens now is going to affect the next generation in this industry. Now is the time to take them on, to make the regional council regret the idea that politicians are going to take away our way of life in this country. They've been getting away with it since 1990. The time has come now for us to make a stand and to deal to them.
And what we decide here today, assuming we decide to accept the motion, is going to do one of two things. It's going to break us, or it's going to break the regional council. I know who I want to be broken, and it ain't us. So we've got to be aware that it is costly, but we've got to stand up for ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it, and we've got to set an example. So I speak in favour of the motion.
I don't want to fight for 13 cents or 30 cents. I want to have something decent. I want, for a start, here in Wellington, I want to get at least $22.50 an hour, plus the conditions we have, and I want that to flow on to all the other drivers. And we don't accept it unless all the drivers get that. I think this is the moment now in history that we need to stand up and really fight for us. Of course there is risks, but if you want something, you have to risk something. And this now, in this time, the regional council are under a lot of pressure, and the companies are constrained. The regional council will have to come out and fund them more. We just need to be united. Don't expect us to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It can be very frightening to go on strike. But if we don't stand together and fight, they will just walk over us. We want a fair wage. We have to pay mortgages. We have a rent. Everything goes up. Well, have the house prices gone up? The rents have gone up? They demand you to pay it. And where's that coming from? Your job. The regional council has set up this structure where they're the employer. And I'll be clear, they employ us. They hire our companies to run the service, but they're our boss. They're the ones who are going to be funding this. As long as we put pressure on them, they will give us the money. But if we are soft or we are disunified, then we won't win. And I can't emphasise this more. It's our unity that will solve this.
You don't understand divided we fall. We must stand together and we must show the council and everyone else, don't piss us off. End of story.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s. The drivers' union was strong. I actually remember the name of a guy. I think his name was Anderson. They said he was a communist. I don't know about that, and I don't care about that. All I know is that the drivers' union was strong. In the 80s, the drivers' union was strong, and it led the way for industrial relations in this nation. Or it was at least one of them that did, and it was high up there. But in the 90s, suddenly the drivers' union was not so strong. And then the turn of the century occurred, and it appeared that the drivers' union got weaker. As I said earlier, one of the great foundations of a healthy democracy is a union movement where the people who do the work have a voice and are heard. Since 1990, that situation has been under attack by our own government. Our own government has been acting anti-democratically. That is not acceptable. It's now 2018 and it's now time for the drivers' union to get strong again, put a stake in the ground and start to lead the way again for all workers in New Zealand. We must stand together.
Speaking from my own experiences, we're very fortunate in one respect that this is all happening here in Wellington. Fortunately for us, Wellington people, and this Hutt Valley as well, are very passionate about their bus service. They have to be. because of the topography of the place. Many people just simply don't own a motor car, they've got nowhere to put it. So they rely very heavily on the bus. One piece of advice that I would give everybody here, and something that I've been told constantly by my passengers who I talk to a lot, look after your people on the bus, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones that give us the most support for this all to work. The union is going to do a great job, and at the end of the day, it probably is going to happen. But it's very important we do our bit by supporting those who we have in our bus every day and cart around. Look after them and look after your people, and it will pay off.
Just before I announce the vote, one of the Transurban people came up to us and asked a very relevant question, was that if the union members get these conditions, would the non-union members be entitled to them? And there is under law nothing to stop those members being the benefit of those terms and conditions. But within our document, we've realised this. If someone wants the same conditions but hasn't paid a union fee, in order to get those conditions, they end up having to pay what's called a bargaining agent's fee, which is the same fee as a union member's fee. So they actually make a contribution to the cause. So that clarifies that. And thank you for that question. Now, there were 238 votes in total cast. 233 were for the motion, 3 were against, and 2 votes were spoiled. I can break the numbers down for you because I think that's very positive. In Transurban Hut, 29 for, none against. City Line, there was 31 for, none against. In Wellington was 126 with 3 against. And for Madge, 12 votes for, none against. I'd like to thank you very much for persevering with what is quite a complicated process. At this point in time, I believe we have no further items to discuss, and we'll declare the meeting closed.